Steph Curry is known as one of the most loyal players in the NBA, spending his entire career with the Golden State Warriors. But what if he had no loyalty and changed teams every single season? Today we're here in 2010 to find out how his career would have changed if he was team hopping. So I'm gonna randomly go through this list, and whatever team we land on is the first team that Steph is going to go to. I got my eyes closed right now, and it looks like he's going to Minnesota. Now this is pretty ironic because it's talked about quite a lot how the Timberwolves passed up on Steph Curry not once, but twice in the 2009 NBA draft. But let's get this video started. Steph is in Minnesota playing alongside K-Love and Beasley. Season is wrapped and we had a devastating end to the season, just barely missing out on the NBA playoffs. Steph was really good though, averaging 21 points and 6 assists a night. But now it's time for Curry to move on to his next squad. And this time, Steph is going to be going to Sacramento. In Sacktown, Steph is going to be playing alongside a loaded front court with DeMarcus Cousins and Marc Gasol. They also ended up recently drafting Kyrie Irving, so we'll see young Kyrie playing alongside young Steph. This team looks ridiculous. I think that we should be contenders. Season 2 is wrapped. Steph Curry did not make All-NBA this season. I thought he might because he's a 90 overall. Numbers actually went down, I guess because there's so many good players here in Sacramento. You got Boogie, you got Marc Gasol coming off the bench, rookie Kyrie. I could kind of see why Steph's numbers would go down. But we were pretty good as a team, 46 wins. Low-key, I expected us to be over 50, but it is what it is. In the first round, we're taking on Steph's former team, the Minnesota Timberwolves. I mean, they have K-Love and Bees, but that's literally it, man. They got Darko starting at center. If y'all lose, this is ridiculous. Game number 1 is going to go to us. Game 2 also goes to us. We're up 3-0. They take a game, but I think we got this one in the bag. We beat them in 5, and oh man, now we got to take on the Thunder. This team is always a problem in the simulation. Maybe Steph will get to join them at some point in time and make the greatest team ever. We actually take game 1 of the series. OKC takes game 2. We take game 3. We're tied up at 2 apiece headed into game 5. Let's get into the simcast. I didn't expect it to be this close. Unfortunately, OKC is going to get the best of us in game 5, and now we're 1 game away from elimination. What are you supposed to do when not only KD drops 46, but JJ Barea drops 22 points? Come on now. Let's see if we can at least score 7, and we will! We're headed to a game 7 against one of the most stacked teams. We've got a close one here, down by 6 points, less than 2 minutes to go. We're gonna need Steph Curry to clutch up. Curry has the ball at the top of the key, gonna get the screen. He's going to work on Russell Westbrook. Steph down to the big man Singletary. Singletary smokes the layup, you're trash! Now JJ Barea has it. Come on, Tyreek, we need to stop. KD down the lane and 1. Oh no. Durant, free throw, of course, is cash. And just like that, we're down by 9 points. I can't believe our big man missed that layup. Luckily now Marc Gasol's checked in. He shouldn't do any tomfoolery like that. Steph at the top of the key gets the screen from Gasol. Curry pulls the 3 and he misses. This one might be over with if OKC scores here. Durant gets the screen from Serge Ibaka. KD gonna pull the 3-pointer and it's good. Oh my gosh, bro. Durant cooked us in the clutch, man. I was surprised we ended up in a game 7 against this squad anyway, and we completely dropped the ball in the final game. Overall, it was a really good playoff run for Steph. We just couldn't finish the job. Now let's see where Steph is headed to next. He's going to be going to the Pistons, okay? In Detroit, Steph Curry's playing alongside Rodney Stuckey and Charlie Villanueva. This isn't the best team ever, I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I guess Steph and Rodney Stuckey are gonna have to go absolutely crazy this year. Season 3 is wrapped and Steph Curry has made the leap onto All-NBA. This was a career year for Curry. He averaged 28 points, 8 assists, and 2 steals a night. He had a way bigger role in Detroit. There just weren't many scoring options, so Steph had to take over. And considering the supporting cast, I think that Steph did pretty well. 53 wins on the season in Detroit, and in round number 1, we've got the Miami Heat. Young Steph is going to have a battle with LeBron James in the first round. Game number 1 of the series goes to us. Game 2 goes to Miami. They're up 2-1. But we're going to tie it up at 2 apiece. We're headed into game 5 against Bron. And Steph Curry gonna come up with a big win, a triple-double, 38, 12, and 10. And on the big stage, Curry is thriving. If he can take down Bron in game 6, this would be absolutely huge. And he actually does it. Steph Curry is advancing to the second round after beating LeBron, Wade, and Bosh on the Big 3 Heat. And now we're taking on the Washington Wizards. They've got Dwight Howard now. Also, John Wall ended up winning MVP this season, so the Wizards are a problem in the Eastern Conference. Despite that, we're going to take game 1 and game 2. We're up 3-0, and Steph Curry is headed to the conference finals. We're going to be taking on Indiana. I'm surprised we made it this far. When Steph got here, I was like, man, this is kind of an underwhelming team. But I guess Steph is proving me wrong and going crazy here in Detroit. Game number 1 of the series goes to Indiana. Oh man, we're down 2-0. We're going to take game 3, but they take game 4, giving them a commanding 3-1 lead. Ultimately, we're going to lose in 5 to the Pacers, but I would say this was a successful run for sure. I mean, we lost to the eventual champions. Steph had some good performances against Bron and the Heat, and we made a conference finals run. So I think we did pretty well. Now it's time for Steph to head to his next team. Let's see where we're about to go. It looks like Steph is headed to the 6th, the Toronto Raptors. In Toronto, Steph is going to be playing alongside Andrea Bargnani and DeMar DeRozan. Dame is also here, but he's only an 80 overall right now. Pretty decent team, and last season, Steph solidified himself as one of the best players in the league, so I feel like any team he's on should at least be a playoff squad. Another season in the books. Steph Curry made All-NBA second team this year. Numbers were down this season, sharing the backcourt with DeMar DeRozan. And unfortunately, we missed out on the playoffs, only 39 wins on the season. But that's fine, because it's on to the next team now. And it looks like Steph is going home. He's going to the Charlotte Bobcats. Steph is coming to Charlotte the year they changed from the Bobcats to the Hornets. And this team has some good role players for sure. They also have young Joel Embiid. I'm just not sure if this squad is ready to contend. Maybe Steph will surprise us though. This season, Steph Curry did not end up making an All-NBA team. Pretty surprising. But in Charlotte, things weren't too bad. We won 46 games, Steph Curry averaged 23 and 8, and we made it into the playoffs as the 6th seed. Round number 1, we're taking on the Philadelphia 76ers, and we're up 3-2 right now. 1 game away from advancing, and we're headed to a game 7. Philadelphia has Rodney Stuckey, who Steph played with on the Pistons, and they've also got Iguodala. And unfortunately, we're going to go down to those 2 guys in game 7. Curry kind of struggled in the first round of these playoffs. He had 22 and 10 in the final game, but we are not going to be advancing. We end up losing in the first round. And now Steph is going to be taking his talents to Memphis to play for the Grizzlies. In Memphis, Steph Curry's going to be playing alongside Greg Monroe and 83 overall Jimmy Butler. Don't worry though, we got Isaiah Thomas. We'll be alright this year. This might have been Steph's best season yet. He made the All-NBA first team, averaging 31 points and 9 assists a night. We won 47 games, so not too bad, especially considering the supporting cast. That was good enough for the 4 seed in the Western Conference. Round 1, we're gonna cook Utah. And now, of course, we gotta take on OKC. Like, bro, this team is just not fair. Let's get into it though. Game 1 of the series goes to the Thunder. Game 2 is actually gonna go to us. They take game 3 and game 4. We're gonna take game 5 and game 6. Hold on, we're headed to a game 7. And we got absolutely destroyed. I didn't know how we even forced the game 7. I guess it's because Steph was on a different level. He averaged 35 and 12 in these playoffs. But KD had to give us 39 in game 7 and drop us off, of course. And now Curry's gonna head to the Denver Nuggets. Steph Curry just got his best teammate yet. He's playing alongside Dwight Howard in Denver. I think this is a championship duo. Look at Curry, man, finally taking home an MVP, averaging 29 and 9 on the season. We ended up winning 59 games this year. The duo of Steph and Dwight was so good, even though Dwight didn't score too much. But I guess that wasn't really his role. It was Steph's job to do all the scoring. Round number 1, we're going to be taking on the Dallas Mavericks. And they're actually kind of cooking us right now. We're down 3-2 and we lose in 6. You've got to be kidding me, Steph. You just won the MVP and then lost in the first round to old man Dirk. Now it's time for Steph to move on to his next team. So far, team hopping has not been successful for him, man. He is still ringless, but it looks like now he's headed to San Antonio. This team in San Antonio is nice. They got Book, Jokic, K-Love, Steph Curry, of course, and Brandon Ingram is even here. Steph, you gotta get a ring this year, man. It's time to lock in. Also, I just realized he's reunited with Kevin Love. Remember, Steph and K-Love played together earlier in the video in Minnesota. In San Antonio, Steph ended up making the All-NBA third team, averaging 24 and 9. We won 57 games, good enough for the 1 seed in the West, which I think is the first time Steph has been on a 1-seeded team. It's time to get a chip, Curry. This Suns team we're facing in round 1 is pretty mid. I think we got them. And we're down 3-2. I swear if y'all lose to the 8 seed, we're going to game 7. And game 7 is coming down to the wire. We've got a 1-point game with less than a minute to go. Curry gets the screen from Nikola Jokic. Steph gonna pull the 3. We need it. That's a big shot. Curry coming through in the clutch to give us a 4-point lead. Now we cannot let up a bucket, especially a 3 from Phoenix. Layup from the big is good. That's a quick 2 for the Phoenix Suns to keep things interesting. Curry gets another screen from Jokic, steps back, deep 3, and he misses. Oh no, the Suns have a chance here. So now Phoenix could tie it up with a 2-pointer or even take the lead if they hit a 3. Ball goes into Drew Holiday. Steph, we need some good defense on Holiday right now. Time is winding down now. We have about 5 seconds left. Ball goes to Evan Turner. Is he going to take the shot? Turner going to take the mid-range. Oh my gosh, you're kidding me. No way Evan Turner just hit that, man. Now there's only 0.3 seconds to go. I'm not sure that that's enough time to get a shot up. Maybe if we do a lob play or something. Gallinari into Curry. Curry doesn't even get the shot off, and of course it went in. Luckily, in overtime, we were dominant. We end up winning by 9 points. Steph, 26, 5, and 8, and we're moving on to round 2. But round 1 against an 8 seed should not have been that hard for our squad. Now we're taking on Portland. The Blazers got a solid lineup. Game 1 of the series goes to us. Game 2 goes to Portland. We're going to take game 3 and Portland takes game 4, setting up an important game 5. And in game 5, we're going to clutch up. Big win. Shout out to K-Love, 32-10. Curry gives us 17-12. We're 1 game away from the conference finals and we made it. Of course, we've still got to take on OKC. They got Russ, Harden, Durant, and Tyson Chandler. This squad is ridiculous. Game 1 is going to go to them. Game 2 goes to us. Oh, I accidentally pressed Sim Round. But now we find ourselves down 3-2 in the series, and we lose in 6. The Thunder have just cooked our guy Curry so many times in this video. Steph's numbers were down for the playoffs. We're going to need better than that from you, Curry, if we're trying to win a championship. And now Curry is going to the New York Knicks. When Steph was drafted, he actually wanted to go to this team, so this is a pretty fire squad for him to go to. Oh man, this is gonna be crazy. We got Steph and Giannis in New York. Curry makes the All-NBA third team in New York, averaging 22 points and 8 assists per game. We ended up winning 46 games with our Steph and Giannis duo. Round number 1, we're taking on the Charlotte Hornets, and we're gonna beat them in 6. Now we've got Orlando in round 2. The Magic are nice, I guess, but I feel like we compare to them at least. Like, our teams are on a similar level, you know what I mean? Game number 1 of the series is going to go to us. Game 2 also goes to us. Game number 3 goes to Orlando. But we're going to take game 4. We end up beating them in 5, so we're in the conference finals. Come on, Steph. Chance to make the NBA finals. This Nets team is mid. They don't even have a 90-plus player. This is very winnable. Game 1 goes to Brooklyn. Game 2 also goes... Oh my gosh, bro. You've got to be kidding me. We're going to take game 4, and we lose in 5. I don't know how we lost in 5 to that team. To his credit, Steph did turn it up for the NBA playoffs. So did Giannis. We just couldn't finish the job. And now, Steph is going to be heading to Chicago to play for the Bulls. Derrick Rose is still here in Chicago and still playing at a very high level. So we're going to have a crazy duo on the Bulls. I'm going to move D Rose to the 2 since he's a little bit taller than Curry. But regardless of how we run it, I think that this duo is going to be insane. Steph Curry made All-NBA first team, averaging 25 and 9, and Derrick Rose averaged 24 and 9, making the All-NBA second team. So you would think we were really good, right? But no, we were mid, 41 and 41 on the season. The Eastern Conference overall, though, was really mid, which leads me to believe just the fact that we got into the playoffs gives us a chance to win a championship. The number 1 seed in the East only had 48 wins, so maybe we got this. Round number 1, we got the Orlando Magic. Okay, well, I was wrong. We lost in 6 games. Steph was solid in round number 1, and Derrick Rose was also really good, despite having kind of a stinker in game 6. Overall, really good series for Rose. Unfortunately, it's not going to be enough, and we end up losing once again. So far, Steph Curry is still ringless. But I have a feeling that's about to change, because Steph is headed to Oklahoma City. If Steph Curry doesn't win a chip this year, he's most definitely a fraud. We've got Steph, Russ, Harden, and KD. Now to make things work here in Oklahoma City, I'm going to move Kevin Durant to the power forward, James Harden to the small forward, and Steph Curry to the 2 guard. We had to change a couple things around, but I want to make sure all of our guys are starting. This season, the only player in OKC to make All-NBA was Kevin Durant. We ended up winning 57 games, not even making us the 1 seed in the West. I'm kind of concerned going into the playoffs. Steph put up good numbers and all, but if we don't win this chip, we're on fraud watch. Round number 1, we got the Houston Rockets, and we're going to sweep them. Okay. Round number 2, we got the Memphis Grizzlies. We're up 3-2, and we beat them in 6. Now, we've got San Antonio in the conference finals. Another one of Steph's former teams. Game number 1 of the series goes to us. Game 2 goes to the Spurs. We're going to take Game 3 and Game 4. They take Game 5. And we made it. We're in the NBA Finals, taking on the Orlando Magic. They've got a good front court, Dante Green and KP. They've also got Jamal Murray and JJ Redick and Clyde Gilmore, I guess. But our team is definitely better on paper. Game 1 of the series goes to us. Game 2 also goes to us. Magic will take Game 3. We take Game 4. And finally, Steph Curry has won ring number 1. And even on this stacked OKC team, he managed to win Finals MVP. Congrats to Curry, he finally did it. We've still got a couple more years to go before we reach the modern day for Steph Curry to add some more accolades to his resume. And it looks like the next team he's headed to is the Dallas Mavericks. Let's see if Steph can win another ring with the Mavs. In Dallas, Steph Curry doesn't have nearly as good of a supporting cast as he did in Oklahoma City. He's just gonna have to backpack this year. Well, we were trash. We only won 31 games on the season. Steph averaged 22 and 7, a pretty forgettable year overall. And now Steph is going to be heading to the Orlando Magic. Here in Orlando, Steph Curry's going to be playing alongside Markelle Fultz and Kristaps Porzingis. This isn't a bad big 3 at all. And since Markelle is 6'4", I'm going to slide him over to the 2. We've got a nice little squad, 390 pluses on the team. Steph Curry, no All-NBA this season. He is getting a little old at this point. We won 55 games though, and Steph put up some really good numbers, so we should be contenders. Round number 1, we got the Washington Wizards. And get Washington out of here, man. We beat them in 5. Round 2, we got the Boston Celtics. We started off down 2-0, but we ended up beating them in 7. I accidentally pressed him around. I wish I wouldn't have, because this ended up being close. Shout out to Cam Thomas coming through with 19 in Game 7. Now we've got the Charlotte Hornets in the conference finals. They look really good. They still ended up with LaMelo Ball in this alternate NBA universe. This is a team that Steph Curry ended up playing with a little earlier in the video. Game number 1 of the series goes to us. Game 2 also goes to us. They'll take Game 3 and 4. So we're all tied up, headed into Game 5. We need this one. We're trying to make it back to the finals so Steph can compete for ring number 2. Oh my goodness, man. We beat him by about 1,000,000 points in Game 5. Kristaps Porzingis gave us 31. Steph Curry 22 and 14. JJ Redick comes in and drops 17 in 9 minutes. Oh my goodness. And bro is old at this point too. He's 38 years old, averaging 4 a game in the playoffs, comes and gives us 17. And now we're 1 game away from the finals, but we're gonna have to go to a Game 7 to make it. So here we go. We've got a close one here in Game 7. It is a 1-point game, a little over a minute to go. Steph Curry gonna get it picked away by LaMelo Ball. That is not good. LaMelo up to Middleton, down to McLeod. McLeod layup is good. Not a great start. You got to keep that ball on a string, especially in the clutch if you're Steph Curry. Curry working on LaMelo Ball, trying to get to the basket. He's doubled, swings it over to Gilmore. Gilmore over to Markelle Fultz. Shot clock starting to tick down. Fultz gets the screen, pulls the midi, and hits it. That's a huge shot from Markelle. Now there's no need to foul. We just got to get a stop here. Cash Money Chris working on Markelle Fultz. Good defense from Kel. Come on, we need this stop. He swings it over to John Isaac. Isaac over to McLeod. Now it goes back to Middleton. Middleton over to Ball. Ball gonna have to shoot it. Steph kind of got cooked there. Oh no. This is not a good look from Steph in the clutch. LaMelo low-key shook him there. Steph also turned it over earlier. He needs to hit a 3 or something right here to redeem himself. Markelle Fultz swings it over to Curry. Curry in the corner, down to Fultz. Fultz out to Gilmore. Gilmore for 3 and he misses. And that is going to do it. A devastating Game 7L. Steph Curry only 17 points. Pretty bad efficiency in this one, and we end up losing. LaMelo was hooping in this one. He had that huge 3 on Steph. And now we're about to head into the final season of the video. And one team that I really wanted to see Steph play for was the Los Angeles Lakers. And we have yet to see that. I've been randomly selecting the teams up to this point, but I'm going to go ahead and call an audible and say, Steph, let's go to LA for this final year and let's see what he can do. Well, they've got a super team over in Los Angeles, so this should be an opportunity for Steph to bolster his resume and add another championship. He's got Ben Simmons, D Fox, Wendell Carter, DeAndre Jordan. This team is crazy. I want to make sure both Steph and Swipa start, so I'm going to go ahead and move Fox over to the 2, and let's get into it. Final season of the video. I don't know how this happened, but this year was not that good. We only won 44 games with this basketball team. I don't know what happened. Steph Curry averaged about 23 and 8. Let's see if maybe we were just coasting in the regular season and can be a crazy playoff team or something. I guess not. We lost in the first round. So ultimately, Steph Curry team hopping didn't really pay off in a big way. He only won 1 championship and 1 MVP. His real life career is definitely way better than this. But regardless, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. Have a great day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.